Hello, my darlings. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to our eighth episode, which is going to cover the end. We're going to kind of like close the end of these episodes. Previously, we've done audit. We've covered self-awareness, mindset, breaking limits, discipline, relationships, investment in yourself, and now as we close down, we're going to go with living elevated, which is becoming the best version of you. So let me start by saying, what would your life look like if you showed up every day as your higher self? And the higher you go, the clearer the view becomes. So becoming the best version of you isn't about, perfection, isn't about doing things in a flawless manner, but it's about elevation, one choice at a time. And today we're going to dive into that. So we're going to define the best version of you. So it consists three things, which is no comparison, where you're not supposed to compare with anybody or anything in this world, co-alignment and authenticity. And I think we're going to dive deeper into defining the best version of you. So for one, it's not about perfection. That's what I've said. So many people confuse like best self with being flawless. And this is what kind of like hinder them from, doing the things that they're supposed, or even to tap into their talents, their gifts, their creativity, and even chase their purpose or even pursue their goals. And the truth is, your best version isn't perfect. It's present, it's intentional, it's aligned. It has nothing close to being perfect whatsoever. And your best self is not someone you become in the future, but someone you bring out today in small, consistent ways. And that's the only way you can elevate your life. That's the only way you can show up as your best, as your best self. So the second way we can also define the best version of you, it's through identity over image. And what am I saying? Image is about, what the world sees, how you show up. And identity is who you are when no one is watching you. So the image that you portray out there, is it the same image that you carry with you when nobody is there? Is this your true identity? So becoming your best version means, living from your core identity, not the mask that you're going to put on to please other people. And the very question that you should be asking yourself, am I living from authenticity or am I living through performance? So is it authenticity or it's performance? So the other way we can define the best version of you, it's through alignment, and alignment is the key here. When your values, or when you value, when your values and your beliefs and your actions are quite in harmony, you are living elevated. If one of those things, they're not in harmony, they're not balanced, you have to go back to the drawing board. For example, so if you value health, but your lifestyle ignores sleep and nutrition, you're not aligned. Alignment equals peace, equals flow, equals clarity, equals creativity. That's the only way, when you're balanced, that's the only way you can be able to create something good for yourself. So the other thing, it's a progress, not comparison. We like a lot to compare with other people. We like to compare our success. We like to compare literally almost everything. And I keep on saying that, a comparison is the thief of joy. Your best version is you versus yesterday, versus the person that you were yesterday. So it's not versus someone else on social media, someone you even hardly know. It's not your neighbor. It is not your sibling or even your relative. It is you versus yesterday's you. Progress can be as small as responding calmly instead of, being angry, choosing discipline over procrastination. So for you to be able to get through that phase of procrastination, you have to discipline yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to do something at this particular moment, you have to do it, you have to show up, you do it no matter how small it's going to be. The fact remains that you've done it, you've shown up. So, and showing up even when it's uncomfortable, it's not always that things are going to be very comfortable for you. And so many things that we chase, the success that we chase, everything that, even the goals that we want, the smart goals that we want to pursue, or most of the time, they're not going to be very comfortable. We'll always have that uncomfortability of some point. And you need to ask yourself, am I 1% better than I was last week? So that way you're going to go back and start your daily audit and look at, how are you progressing? How is your progress? Are you stagnant? Are you trying to make progress, or you're just there trying to compare yourself with other people and other people's success and whatnot? So the other thing, it's a whole self elevation. And what do I mean by this? So the best version of you isn't just about success. And a lot of us confuse, we just kind of like look into just one area, where is career, looks, and money. And what I will say is that the best version of you is holistic. And what do I mean by that? So you're taking care of your mind. So there is a growth mindset, there is clarity, there is body, health, energy, and vitality. There is heart, emotional intelligence, which is very important. There is love and kindness. And the last one, that's come to give that the main one that I still believe, I don't know about you, it's the spirit, that I know that when you have faith, when you have purpose, and when you have peace within you, you can conquer anything. So the whole self elevation, it's not just about the outer world success that we like to look at. It has to do with inner world success. So you cannot be, and I keep on saying a lot, I like to emphasize on, you can't really be a winner or a warrior or a hero on the outside world, but you're a failure in private. So all these things, they consist, it's about your inner world mindset, your health, your body, your heart, your spirit. So this all has to be in harmony. It has to be balanced. And becoming your best self is not just about reaching a distant peak. It's about aligning who you are and what you value and how you live, what you believe in every single day. Those are the things that you carry with you. Those are your breadcrumbs that you carry with you. And let's look on the practical tools for elevation. So the pillars of living elevated. So one, it's the mindset, like I've said. So that's the foundation of elevation. So your thoughts are going to shape your life, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or you don't believe it. So elevated living starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mindset. That's where, if it's success, you cannot see yourself as a failure and expect good results. It has never worked like that. That shift from a limitation to a possibility instead of I can't. So ask yourself, how can I do that? How can I achieve? How can I show up? And you're going to get the results, you're going to get the answers. And the practical step to do that, it's each morning write down like one empowering thought to replace on your limiting belief. Because I believe that most of us are hindered from our success because of the limiting beliefs. And not unless you work on that, not unless you shift and you start seeing possibilities, you're always going to be stagnant. You're always going to be feeling frustrated. You're not able to achieve all the things that you've always been desiring, or the things that you've been working towards, but they're not coming through. So the second pillar of living elevated, it's discipline. The bridge between dreams and reality. Talent and vision means nothing without consistent action. That's what I'm saying. We've got so many people who are talented out there, but because of there's no discipline, they're not able to show up the way they're supposed to be showing up, to show their gifts and their talents. Elevated people don't wait for motivation. They rely on habits. Motivation, it's all right. And I'm not saying it's bad to be motivated or listen to those motivational talks and all that. But have you ever seen that they hype you up just for a few minutes or even for a week? And then later on, you drift back to your patterns. And why is that? Because you've not formed the habits. You have to start relying on your habits. As much as you're looking for motivation, make it a point of motivation plus, discipline, which is going to give you a pattern. You're going to be consistent every single day. And the practical step to do that, it's start a non-negotiable routine, even 10 minutes daily of reading, of journaling, of workout. You know what I say, that small disciplines compound into big results. And with no time, it might not make a difference now, but later on in the next 6 months, later on in the next 1 year, it might make a huge difference. So the other thing are the pillars of living elevated. It's relationships. Your circle determines your selling, and I talked that about our last episode, episode 7. So who you work with determines how high you're going to rise. Elevated living requires proximity to growth with minded people. So, and do a relationship audit, and I talked about that on episode 7. So look at who drains you, who inspires you, who fills your cup, who challenges me to grow. Then adjust your circle. I'm not saying that you drop all your friends, but if they're there to drain your energy, they're not motivating you, there's no inspiration, there is no given. It's just one part of like someone is just taking, it's just like a one-sided relationship where you're always giving, but you're not having someone to give you back or even be there for you when need be. So you have to check on your circle and determine who's going to come with you, who's going to stay, and who's going to go. So the fourth pillar of living elevated, it's faith and spirituality. So this is about anchoring to something greater, and it's about having a sense of inner grounding. Even when storms come, where you're gonna go and find your find your a sense of having to hold on to something, anchor onto something. So you're not going just to drift away into sadness, you're not going to drift away into panic mode. You know where your source energy comes from, and your faith keeps you centered when circumstances shake you, when you have so many things going on that you feel like you're having an attack or stuff like that. So when you're able to anchor to something greater than you will always, it doesn't matter whatever you're going through, you'll always be able to bounce back and start start where and start from where you left. And the practical step of that, it's begin and also end your day with a prayer, with a meditation. Just look for something that's gonna give you a sense of, I have I have something greater that's looking out for me there. So it could be God, it could be the universe, whatever you believe in. And it could be meditation, or even reading your scriptures, or even doing your affirmations, just to reconnect with your higher purpose. Without being able to reconnect with your higher purpose, you can't really go far. So you have to check on that area. And if you're struggling in that area, just go back to our episode 1, where we did inner audit, and we talked about your spiritual quadrant. You just have to look at the journal prompts. You just have to find ways that you can have something to hold on to when things are not really going well for you. Even when things are going well for you, you still need to anchoring to something greater than you. So the other pillar, it's the self-care and well-being, protecting your energy. You cannot live elevated if you're running on empty. And that's what I said. It's very important. As much as we did inner auditing, we also have to do a relationship auditing, because if the people that surround you, they're just only taking, and they're not pouring onto you, finally you're going to be left, empty. And what I keep saying is that self-care isn't selfish. It's more of like maintenance for your soul, for your body, and for your mind. Just as like we maintain cars, even ourselves, we need to be maintained through self-care, which is not selfish. And the practical steps: schedule recovery time, like you do work meetings, do exercise, rest, and have healthy meals, take care of your health, journaling, go for walks, have fun. Just do things that are gonna bring you joy, that are gonna bring you back, and that After doing those things, you'll feel like you're so grounded. You're not in a state of panic. You're not in a state of, feeling confused. You don't really know what you're supposed to do. So you have to bring stuff that are going to be grounding in such a way that the moment you're done doing those things, your creativity just, rise up. So the other pillar is purpose, living with intention. And elevated living is not just about survival. A lot of us are in kind of like survival mode. It's contribution. When you live with purpose, even small tasks have meaning. The little things that you think that don't make sense are going to start making sense. So write your why statement and one sentence that sums up the legacy you want to leave. For example, I live to inspire others to rise above limits and step into their fullest potential. You need to have your why statement. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you are out of alignment, the moment you go back to your why, that's going to bring you back into your purpose. And, these 6 pillars, they are the foundation of an elevated life. When one is weak, your elevation wobbles. But when all align, I think you will rise steadily into your best version. And yeah, you just need to have consistency. And the more important thing is just build habits that are going to bring the life or the results that you need. Let's dive a little bit into practical tools for elevation. So, one, it's daily audit, living with awareness. We talked about self-awareness on our second episode. And at the end of each day, ask yourself, did I live aligned in my values today? So what I was doing, did it align with my core values? Did I make progress, even that 1% towards my goals? Did I honor my energy and well-being? So having to build these questions, having to, journal these 3 questions, it's going to build consistency and self-check all the time. Because you can't have people coming to check on you all the time. You need to create a habit of checking yourself all the time. And this is daily. Do some daily audits. Spend some time at the end of your day. Have 10 minutes or so that you're going to do that. The other practical tool, it's micro shifts, which equal small wins and big change. So what I want to insist is that elevation doesn't happen overnight. It's a small shift done daily and with consistency. And instead of saying that I'm gonna, do everything at once, just focus on one small change each week. For instance, you want to work onto your health and lifestyle. So week 1, just drink more water, stay hydrated. And then week 2, wake up 30 minutes earlier. Week 3, replace those 10 minutes of scrolling, on social media with 10 minutes of exercise, do yoga, or even you can read. So you'll see that over a year, you'll have those tiny micro shifts that are going to bring a radical transformation. So the other practical tool is vision anchors, staying connected to your higher self. Your best self needs a reminder system. Create anchors. And what I'm saying with that, like a personal mantra, affirmations you repeat each morning. Create a prayer time for you. Create a vision board with images of who you want and what you're looking forward to, and what you're working towards. So you can, and these anchors can redirect you when life gets noisy or you're out of alignment. You don't really know what you're doing, or you've literally gone out of, the goals that you were creating, and now you're lost. You're going to go back there. So that's why I keep on saying even vision boards are very important. Now you can have vision boards even on your phone, wherever you are. You can just, go to your vision board gallery and you see, and you look at it, and it brings you back to connecting with your higher self and with your purpose. The other thing, it's elevated habits, which ecosystems that support growth. Instead of relying on willpower, build rituals that will elevate you automatically. And what am I saying with that? Do you have morning routines? Do you have weekly reset? Do you have digital detox hours. So when I talk about morning routines, I'm talking about gratitude, prayers, meditation, and journaling. When we talk about a weekly reset, it's about planned meals, goals, and reflections. Digital detox hours, which we all need. Set time for no screen to protect peace. Consistency beats intensity. So the other one, it's accountability. Don't elevate alone. Growth accelerates when you're not working solo, when you're not working alone. Find an accountability partner, find a coach, find a mentor, or even, get into groups that checks in on your progress. Even sharing goals, with the people that are very closest to you, people who are not going to pull you backward. It's just kind of like create healthy pressure, because now you have people who are going to be accountable. They'll be asking you, about your progress and all that. They'll be checking you and saying, probably what you're doing is not the right thing, or you're wasting too much time, and this is something that you should have done long time ago. So that accountability also will help you elevate. The other thing is gratitude and reflection. Fuel for the journey. It is a fuel for the journey. So elevation can feel slow sometimes. So gratitude keeps you from giving up. So write like 3 wins, or even something that you celebrate that day, your blessings, your daily blessings. So they kind of like train your mind to see progress instead of lack. So you don't feel like nothing is happening or nothing is working out for you. And reflection helps a lot when you adjust what's not working without quitting. So when you reflect, even that even being in that process of reflecting, you will also have to self-check yourself and see, so why do I feel stuck, or why am I not getting the results that I should be getting? And let me say that tools are what turn inspiration into transformation. It might not be a quick thing that might happen overnight, like most of us want. Obviously, we all know that success doesn't happen overnight. You can't change your habits overnight. It's through consistency, and through that consistency with inspiration, you're going to transform. And without that, elevation is just a dream. Without the, having those daily routine, it's just going to be, a way of having to, feeling motivated at one time, and the other, you just go back to your bubble, and that's not what we want. So let me quickly talk about the common barriers to living elevated. This is about understanding what holds you back, but also you're going to learn how to overcome each barrier. So it's the comparison trap. And the barrier here, it's constantly trying to measure yourself against others, and which make you feel like you're not enough, you're not worthy, you can't achieve anything. And the truth is that comparison is going to steal your joy, it's going to steal your confidence, it is going to steal your consistency. And the solution here, it's just, shift to self-comparison. Ask yourself, am I better than I was last week? Am I better than I was last year, last month, or even yesterday? Keep a progress over journal where you note your small wins, celebrate your small wins. So your growth is yours, it's nobody's. And nobody should tell you that, no, you didn't do well. If you were able to do that thing and achieve it, you should celebrate your small win. The second common barrier, it's fear of failure or fear of success. The barrier, fear whispers, what if I fail? What will everybody think about me if I don't make it? Can you try just and shift that to, what if I succeed? And also we have other group of people where they feel like they'll ask themselves, like, what if I succeed and I can't maintain that success? That's a fear of success, or even fear of failure. The truth is, both fear keep you from starting. Or there are others who start something, and then in the middle of it, they get stagnant and they don't look back again. They don't go back to do what they're doing. They self-sabotage. So these are the people that need to find a solution whereby you reframe failure as a feedback Even stumbling is data. It's no defeat whatsoever. And the tool to use is that, fail forward formula. Try, learn, adjust, and repeat, and becomes a cycle. And through that consistency, you will hit your targets and your goals. And even when fear comes and hits you, you'll just ignore it and keep on moving forward. So the other common barrier, it's lack of consistency. And it's about starting so strong, like I've said, but fading out when motivation runs low. That's why I said motivation might not always work for everybody. So you have to build consistency with it. And the truth is that motivation is seasonal, but discipline is eternal. Once you discipline yourself, nobody and nothing can stop you. Even when you do it and it doesn't work out the way you want it, you're still going to go back and redo it again, and you get it right. The solution is focus on systems, not feelings. Build habits that run on autopilot. So because of the way you've really worked on, you've been so disciplined, and you start to build those habits, you start running them on autopilot. So you don't wake up like just the people who got no goals, no discipline, and they start, running and operating on autopilot. What I mean with that is that, they're operating through their limiting beliefs. For you, because you've been able to discipline yourself, and you've been able not to attach your feelings. So whether you feel like you can do it or you can't do it, you still do it anyway. That's going to help. Those habits will be running on autopilot for you. And the tool to use here is habit stacking. So attach a new habit to an old one. Example, pray, meditate after you've eaten or after you've just taken your shower. So the other barrier we can talk about is toxic environment and relationships. The barrier here is you're trying to elevate in a space that pulls you down. You're trying to elevate in spaces where, or in an environment where people are so negative, they just operate on a scarcity mindset. The truth is that you can't rise in such an atmosphere of negativity, of drama, or even small thinking. The solution: audit your circle. Protect your pace, seek out mentors, community, surround yourself with people that want to see you win. Surround yourself with people that knows the journey towards success. It isn't going to be easy, but with consistency and with the help, with the right people, you're going to get there. So be with people who are going to feed growth, not people who are going to be pulling your growth down, right? So the tool here to use, it's energy check. After interacting with someone, ask, do I feel drained or elevated? How did that person leave me feeling? How did I feel after our conversation? So that's how to, self-check on that. The other barrier is impatience and quick fix mentality. We all want success like today at this moment. That's not how life works. So the barrier is wanting results overnight. When transformation feels slow, you quit. You feel like there's no progress. But in the real sense, the progress, you will see that progress, the small, the small or the slow, how slow you're going towards your goals, and you're showing up and you're not giving up. At last, there'll be a huge radical transformation. It might not seem like it now, but later on you will celebrate. So the truth is that elevation is not a marathon. You just need to walk your journey alone. It's not even a sprint either. Just walk, just do what you can do. I'd rather you walk slow and achieve what you want to achieve, rather than hurrying up and trying to force things to work out and then you mess everything up. So, and the tool here is celebrate micro wins weekly to build momentum and gratitude for the process. Celebrate those micro wins. A lot of us don't like celebrating things, small wins, but we just wait for that one big thing. But they forget that it's through those small wins that the big thing is gonna show up later on in life. So the barriers to living elevated aren't permanent walls. That's what I want you to understand. They are speed bumps. With awareness, with tools and discipline, you don't just get past them, you rise higher because of them. So it's up to you. How do you want to achieve your success and your growth? Do you want a marathon, or you'd rather go slow and achieve everything that you want to achieve? And I think I will end by saying that the best version of you already exists inside of you. And I want us to know that elevation is a process. Do not compare yourself with anybody. So it is a process of unlocking. It's a one decision at a time. And here's the truth: if you wait for the perfect moment, it will never come. Elevation starts now, right now, where you are with what you have. So your elevation is not in tomorrow, it's in the choices you make today. And there's something I would want you to bring into your journey. You need to do a 3-2-1 blueprint, which is something I'll talk about when I'll be finalizing about this episode next time. So don't miss the next step in the journey of elevating your life as we wind up our episodes. And thank you so much for being here and watching, and have a lovely week ahead. Ciao.